So after a couple of days of being lazy, it's finally time for me to update my Acidtrip.dek. This is the exact build that I took with me to locals and got my 3-2 record. Like I said in the description of the tournament report, don't know exactly where I finished, it was somewhere between 12th and 14th, so the fact that I went 3-2 there with this deck is actually not too bad. Obviously my losses were to pretty much like hardcore freaking meta stuff, so I'd imagine that this deck would still need a little bit of work done to it, but I think I'm pretty happy with the way that it performed on Sunday, so it wasn't too bad. Before getting onto the deck list, a couple of things that need to be noted. I'm not sure if I actually mentioned anything about a tournament coming up this weekend. If I did, that is actually not going to happen. There's no local on this weekend. It'll be on the following weekend. As a result, this may result in a delay on my Dragons at Legend opening, because I actually do plan on getting 2 boxes. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be getting them both at the same time. Depends on if I can actually afford it. But I should hopefully maybe even just stop by the shop and get the first box and see what happens. I'm not 100% sure about what's going to happen, so because my holidays are now over and so I've got more school to deal with. I'm like 20 to 4 in the morning when I'm recording this, and I've got school in about maybe 8 hours time or something like that. But yeah, just body clock's a bit weird, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it. So anyways, I think that's about all I have to mention about the deck. Just wanted to get this over and done with because I'm going to take this deck down, and if I'm going to do some more testing, I'll do it on a dueling network. But this is the Acid Trip build that I used in my locals. So, got to have the Rabbit, obviously. Got to have the Carvazals, which the theory did actually work. I did manage to go into Lagia and Dolka a couple of times using this. Not all the time with Rabbit though, because there were a fair few situations where I would draw into a bunch of my vanillas, and I think the only game that really hurt me was against Medolchase, although game 1 against Medolchase was pretty much finished the moment he went Thunder King set 3, which was a bit stupid. Aquabador, which once again actually put in some considerable amount of work, especially against Corcamiro, because the only ways they could get over Aquamador is if they blew it up with Corcamiro Ice, or if they had Tenki Urnite, and neither of those actually happened. So I actually managed to sit on this 2000 butt for quite a while, and so this actually did put in a fair amount of work, and as stated before, 1200 attack means I can put these on the board and not run the risk of getting them bottomless. Then 3 Hydrogeddon, which I believe I only got his effect off once, because most of the other times I would either run into something that was too big, or I just didn't have the, it basically just sat in my hand because I didn't really have lances to work with it and stuff like that. So I believe I only got it off maybe once or twice and managed to go into an Evolzar, I think both times. So random 10 Goldfish just to add consistency to my Water Xyz plays. Plus, of course, if I have this and Rescue Rabbit, which didn't happen today, but you know, it can happen. If I have this and Rescue Rabbit, I can of course make 3 level 4s if I so choose. It's a rarity, but I think I had one in there. Did I have one in there, or did I take that out? No, I took that out. I had a Shark Drake in here just for that purpose. I could have easily gone for something better, but I like Shark Drake the most, so yeah. But it wasn't in there anyway, so it's fine. Tour Guide Engine, and the 3 Tour Guides and the Night Assailant, once again, put in some work. Night Assailant got some really good work in blowing shit up. Then we had the Thunder King, which caused a little bit of disruption, but I think my opponents pretty much managed to get around it most of the time. And then a couple of Cards instead of the Veilers. I decided to add a little bit more consistency here, and there were actually a couple of games in which I managed to get both of these off, so it was actually quite nice. If I could fit a third one, if I could have fit a third one in, I would have probably done that. So for the spells, we have Gold Sark, we have Double Duality, And I was actually also planning on running a Pot of Dichotomy, but it never actually showed up in time. I have yet to check my mailbox because I fell asleep before the mailman showed up yesterday, Arvo, and so I don't know if anybody's checked the mail, and I'm not sure. You know, my Pot of Dichotomy could well be sitting in my letterbox right now, but I can't go out there because it's like 3:45 in the morning. So, anyways, 2 Creature Swap, 2 Mystic Box. I actually did discover through my testing that it's possible to get both of the Acid Golems onto the opponent's side of the board using these things, which I really should have thought of, but I would guess I was too much of a thickhead. But basically, if the opponent's already got an Acid Golem on the board, if you've Creature Swapped, if you can get the other Acid Golem on the board and you have a Mystic Box, if the opponent has another monster aside from the Acid Golem that you gave them, you can blow that up and give them the second Acid Golem, so they'll take 4,000 damage each turn, which is actually quite nice. And yeah, I got the combo off. I didn't get the combo off quite as often as I would have liked, but I think I actually did do enough. To be perfectly fair, against Medolces and Five Fists at the local, I pretty much had jack shit to work with, so it was a bit of a shame. I probably should have maybe committed the Bahamut Shark a little bit earlier. I think it was just the back row that I was fearing, so it's a bit of a thing. 2 Lancers, 2 MSTs, and then a Book of Moon and the Dark Hole. That's pretty much just all your standard sort of stuff. Then for traps, we have 2 Fiendish. I would probably have, if I had my time again, I'd have probably put a 3rd one in here just to offset the loss of the Veilers. 2 D Prisons, then Compulse, Bottomless, Torrential, Mirror Force, and Solemn Warning. I opted probably against my better judgment out of the Threatening Roars, just because I wanted to get some more consistency into the deck. And having Threatening Roars, I mean, it blocks the opponent from attacking, but the thing is, Trap Stun is a bit of a thing at my locals, so and to just flip that up and then just get Trap Stun and still get run over is just a bit stupid. So it's just Then we have, for the extra deck, the 2 Bahamut Shark as usual to get into your Acid Golem plays. 1 Dolka and 1 Lagia because you have dinosaurs in the deck. Lavarval Chain and Digusta Emerald just for basically setting stuff up, you know, recycling, dumping something, blah 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 blah. Honor Arc, which I feel really uncomfortable playing because I've just started developing a bit of a hatred for that card. Abyss Dweller, again, because you gotta have that sort of thing. It was one of the cards that I never actually made. I don't believe I ever made Lavarval Chain. I think I might have made it once. I'm not too sure. But aside from that, I didn't use Dweller. Maestro, I saw this once, and that was just to win me a game, and basically I could have easily dropped anything else. Cowboy, didn't see it, but you know, you don't usually expect to see it anyway because it's just the 800 burn for game. Would have been nice to have the attack power boost, but I think people seem to, a bunch of people seem to forget that Gargaga Cowboy does have a second effect. So I think that's something I myself should probably work on, because you know I've got to think of Cowboys having that just overpowering effect, which would have been nice in some situations had I remember that it was a thing. 2 Acid Golem. Now, if you watch my tournament report, you would notice that you would have heard that this is actually pretty damn good, not just for burning the opponent, but for just as something to sit on, because it is 3,000, and against Core Chimera and zombies, I dropped a golem in time to seal the win. I basically went, my opponent already had a golem on their board. I dropped my second golem on my last turn of time against Core Chimeras, because basically I knew I wasn't going to get the 2,000 burn because his next turn would be the last in time before a result was determined. So I basically put that on the board knowing I wouldn't take the damage, and I had a 3000 bud on the board along with my Bahamut Shark, which I had sitting in defense mode, so I didn't have to run the risk of getting anything like Sion or Arced or anything like that. So I was able to sit on that, and then against zombies, I needed to put a whole bunch more damage on board, and I had a Tour Guide, so I just went Tour Guide into Acid Golem and put in another 3000 beats, and my opponent needed to inflict like over 5000 damage just to take the win for that game 3, and he just couldn't do it. Acid Golem, surprisingly enough, actually does serve multiple purposes in this deck. Nice thing about these original decks is that even if you don't think that something's going to serve a good purpose, when you actually put it into practice, it actually can serve more than the one purpose that you intend for it to do. Then we have Leviathan Dragon, which I think I saw once. Yeah, I think I saw it once just to jack up its power. Leviair, I don't think I got the combo off to get Rescue Rabbit, like the Gold Suck with Rescue Rabbit. I don't think I got that off at all. I'm not even sure if I even summoned this, to be perfectly honest. And then Zen Mines, which I believe I saw once just to sit back. And that's about it for the extra deck. Now for the side, I got 2 Max C's, which I didn't actually see that often, to be fair. Trap Eater, I think I cited this in once, never saw it. Third MST, well, you can't really gauge whether or not you see your third MST if you've got 2 others in the deck, but I think I saw it a little bit more often with it. Twister top decked this and got rid of an opponent's Fiendish Chain, which was actually locked onto the Acid Golem that I gave them. So, and I was just like I was pretty much screwed unless I topped into something that could get the Fiendish off the board, and then I just saw that, and it's just like, you beauty. Remove Trap, I saw it once. It was a bluff. I'm probably just going to switch it out for another Twister. It was just, I don't know, something just sort of random and dumb, but you know, why not? I do dumb things sometimes, so whatever. Defissure, that's a thing. Macro, this was brilliant in tandem with my Tarantula against Go-Go-Go's round 5. Just sort of got rid of all of their stuff. Then Soul Drain, never saw it. Double Mask of Restrict, I believe the only deck that actually tribute summoned anything that I went up against was the zombies. I cited this in game 3 and I never saw it, but that's because, I think that's just because, like, I never actually got the combo off anyway, plus he had another, plus there was also the case of, that game 3, it immediately started in time, so we only had the the 6 turns general, that's supposed to be, but yeah, point still being taken. 2 DNA Surgery, which I never saw. I don't think I even cited it in. I may have cited it in once, but that's about it. And then 2 Mind Crush, which I actually saw quite a lot. Round 1 against Core Chimera. If you saw the report, you would know this thing was so sacked against Core Chimera round 1. Hit Iron Core twice. And in both cases, he had one in hand, which he'd revealed prior. Plus, he'd immediately topped into a second one, and then I'd flipped it in games 2 and 3, which was so hilarious. So I can definitely say Mind Crush is going to be a bit more permanent a fixture. So that's it for the updated Bahamut Shark, Bahamut Rabbit, Acidtrip.dek. Yep, that's the one. So yeah, see you for whatever it is that I do next.